Welcome to the Dr. DC podcast. My name is Colin, and next to me is the doctor himself.
Hello.
And as always, we are joined by our producer, Richard.
Oh, hoy hoy.
Each week, we talk about the world of DC Comics and field questions from listeners like you, while I desperately try not to give away the Doctor's true identity yet again. Yeah.
That's become more of a recurring element of this show than Ukrainian Popeye.
Oh, thank God, though.
I've gotten to the point where I can't even. I stopped trying to edit it.
Yeah. It's out there.
Easter eggkins.
I'm not going to deliberately say it, but if you really want to find out, just go through that back catalog.
It's still like we still have to
Just
connect the
listen
name
from
to the person,
episode-
which is going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Just listen from episode 1 till now, and you'll find them.
Yeah, it'll be. there.
Oh, it's in there. Yeah.
Or if you think
Leave less
if you
breadcrumbs.
hear a weird edit spot, that's probably what that
Yeah,
is.
there's a couple of weird edit spots, and then there's a point where it's not edited out.
I like how you did the one where it's like, the Doctor.
that. I know. I was really proud about that one.
Good one.
Did you end up listening to
Yeah, I
it?
did.
Because I re-edited it and put it back out. Yeah.
All
I
right,
did.
shut up. It's news time.
Ooh.
Colin's all business.
The Titans.
Have found their Dick Grayson.
Oh, there's that last word really brought it home.
They found their dick.
Yeah, so there's been quite a bit of Titans casting news. Yeah, so this is the live action TV version of the team, and they cast Raven and Starfire already, and then they just found Dick Grayson, who's traditionally the leader of the team. And what's important in that casting news, so it's I'm not gonna remember his name, but he was in like was it the Maze Runner? He was in one of those like YA movies. I recognize the face, like I've seen him. He's got the right look, as far as I can tell.
He's got the look.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think what's important in that casting announcement, beyond his name and things like that, is that they don't specifically refer to him as Robin or as Nightwing. They're calling him Dick Grayson and being like really specific about that, because I think the show is going to be really centered around his transition from like sidekick to Batman to becoming his own hero. So
Oh, that's who he is. Oh, he's from Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Orlando Bloom?
2?
Yeah, he's from the Dead Man Tell No Tales.
No, that's not 2. Dead Man's Chest is 2. Dead Man
Oh,
Tell
I
No
apologize.
Tales.
I didn't realize I was in front of a connoisseur of
Dr.
Pirates of the
Depp
Caribbean.
also.
Dr. Depp.
Look at the depth of knowledge
Dead
on
Man
this
Tell
guy.
No Tales is the 4th one.
His name is Brenton Thwaites.
Oh no. It's the 5th one. It's the newest one.
Are we just
Dead Man
breezing
Tell No
over
Tales?
all my puns today? Is that what's going
Oh,
on?
what did you say?
I'm sorry, did you tell a joke? What?
Fuck you guys.
And we're back.
You're gonna cry.
Okay, so he's
I
in
don't
the
cry. My eyes just get really sweaty.
he's in the newest Pirates movie.
Sure.
Right.
I'm Maleficent and the Giver. And
Right. Okay.
shit.
He was in The Giver? They did a really great job of that.
You could really say they gave her.
They really went out. Are you stealing this from me? So, listeners, if you ever find yourself in a room with friends and you make a joke and like they don't really give it to you, and then
They don't give her.
they come around a little bit later and they kind of put out a lesser funny one, but they all explode into laughter. You're the smart one in your group of friends. They're just assholes. Don't get down on yourself. It gets better.
Why do you think we do this podcast? It's like the one domain of my life where I can look really smart. But yeah, so they've cast Dick Grayson, and for me, like I said, what's exciting about that is learning a little bit maybe about what the narrative of the show is going to follow, and for that character, it'll be sort of that transition from Robin to Nightwing, I think. But yeah,
Can I kind of just like jump in with a little weird one? It's
Yeah.
not in here, but I was scrolling through my news feed the other day.
did you find news?
A
Facebook.
DC piece of news?
Well, it might not be. It might just be. It might be, as Donald Trump says, fake news.
Sure. All right.
It's horrible. It's awful. Fake. It's fake news.
Right.
Let's hear it.
Apparently, there's been kind of some like chitter chatter about whispers in the wind, as they say. Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh,
Yeah.
Joker?
So
because yep, I'm into that.
So
And I'd
you
love
were
to
not
see-
into that.
I would love to
I'm
see him
not.
kick the shit out of Ben Affleck too. I'm just saying. Like,
okay,
that'd be awesome.
so there's a couple of things there, and you wouldn't see him kick the shit out
He would revenant the fuck out of Bruce Wayne.
If Leonardo DiCaprio played the Joker, you wouldn't see him fight Ben Affleck because it would be in the context of that Joker movie that Scorsese may or may not be attached to that wouldn't take place in the extended universe. It would be like...
We read about that, yeah.
Yeah, if you imagine that DC might be moving ahead with some movies about certain characters that you could consider like Elseworlds. They would take place on like an alternate Earth or in an alternate history or something. So
like Joker goes to HaHa Camp.
Joker goes to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Joker does Hollywood. Okay, we're excited.
So like that Scorsese Joker movie is the one that now... Okay. Also, Leonardo DiCaprio is not attached to this in any way. What the headline was that they would be interested in Leo DiCaprio, which is the most non-news headline ever. That's just like saying I was thinking about this thing.
Yeah, no, that's great. I appreciate that huge slam there.
Yeah,
it's the least news ever.
No, but I mean like it's good for us to it's good to bring up and talk about because there's interesting stuff in there.
But the DC execs listen to us exclusively.
Though there is like
we're the Fox and Friends for DC execs.
Oh Jesus Christ! There is a trend that's been happening where news execs where movie execs what they'll do is they'll put up a concept and then if people really are into it, then they'll try to move forward with that movie.
Which is a good strategy if you're in that position, but it makes anyone looking for any sort of like actual like news of what's coming. It makes that part very difficult because basically now every headline is strictly speculation. Like nothing is based on anything.
So you see someone in a suit.
I mean, just to bring it back a little bit, the idea of these alternate Earth movies that aren't part of the extended universe, I don't dislike the idea, although I do worry a little that it might like dilute the extended universe. But that being said, this might be the new revolutionary format, right? Like when Marvel did their cinematic universe and everything was connected, that was brand new. That was revolutionary.
Well, and then they started.
Maybe this if they do it right, maybe this is the new revolutionary where some things are connected and others aren't, and everyone's fine with it.
But I mean, like look at Marvel, what they're doing with Netflix. So they started a TV series that's really not connected necessarily to the movies.
But it is still technically like that is not a different
Are we talking about Defenders?
Yeah.
Okay, if the Hand was real, I feel like the Avengers would get involved at some point.
No, but that is literally part of the same world.
Yeah.
Like it's not an alternate Earth.
It's weird because like if the Avengers existed and the Hand was in, I mean,
but this is why I think this idea isn't a bad one, because with all of those things that are connected, you start asking questions like, well, why didn't this person show up? Or like, shouldn't someone else be aware? Like if there was an earthquake in New York City, like what happened to Stark Tower? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, all of those sort of things, right? Where if you do...
It's a good question.
If you have like a bit of a connected movie through line and then you have these Elseworld stories, which is what they've done in comics forever, you can play around with things and try new things and you don't have to be as concerned with the continuity.
So this has been really fun. I just wanted to talk about fake news, but here we go on another tangent. I think a bigger important story is that it's someone's 100th birthday.
Yeah, it was very recently. It was the 100th, or would have been the 100th birthday of Jack Kirby, a legendary comic book creator.
Special to you, specifically.
Well, yeah, I really...
He's the reason why Dr. DC tucks his shirts in. Especially T-shirts.
That's right.
Colin's shaking his head because Colin doesn't know who Jack Kirby is, and that's fine.
Great name, though. It sounds like an adventurer.
It does.
You know, I think actually, if you saw some of his artwork, you'd recognize it because it's pretty iconic. But Jack Kirby,
kind of like that, yeah.
In many ways, is most famous.
I brought up a cool book.
Oh, okay. Jack Kirby, in many ways, is most famous as maybe the more important but slighted other half of the Stan Lee creative experience. So like all those characters that everyone's like, Stan Lee made blah 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 blah, like with the exception of Spider-Man, but like Fantastic Four and
Spider-Man,
Thor, and you know, like the Avengers and all of these things. Like Jack Kirby was there through all of it. That's his art. He's co-creator on all of those things. But Jack Kirby didn't get the fame or the notoriety.
He
or
only
the
really
wealth.
got like acknowledgement for like New Gods. Like I feel like
So Jack Kirby went to DC and he created this whole world called the New Gods, and it took place between these two worlds. New Genesis was the home of the good New Gods like Highfather and Light Ray and all sorts over there. And then on the bad world, that was Apocalypse. That's Darkseid and Steppenwolf and Calabac and Granny Goodness, characters that we've talked about.
Yeah,
before.
ain't no Calabac girl.
that's right.
Damn it! I didn't want to laugh at that.
No, that's good. I'll give him that one. That one.
So I mean, like Jack Kirby's influence on DC is massive because Darkseid has become the ultimate bad guy for the entire DC universe, and that's a Jack Kirby creation. So yeah, it was recently his 100th birthday, so you're seeing lots of people kind of post their tributes to him, or people drawing in his art style, or people putting up pictures of like New Gods and things like that.
What style really is his? Like, is there anything you can point towards?
I can. So if you're looking at comics from, well, I mean, any
Golden
of his
Age?
era, but no, not Golden Age, not quite that far
Well,
back.
in
It's
the,
like
in the
60s.
fashion world, they call that lemon age.
It's like 60s,
Easy, Phil.
60s to 80s, roughly. But if you see like old pictures of the Avengers in comics, the eyes are like slightly far apart, and their heads are maybe a little like square looking. That's Jack Kirby. He also created the Inhumans. He created like,
Oh wow.
Jack Kirby is at the heart of a lot of really big, really iconic characters.
He sounds like he's the Steve Wozniak to Steve Jobs, which is
I mean, without getting too much into it, and part of that is because I don't really know the full extent of the story, but like he got screwed over by Stan Lee.
yeah.
And actually,
Because Stan Lee's really been like the face of Marvel for forever.
there's a funny recurring bit on a different podcast called We Hate Movies, and anytime they're talking about a Marvel movie or a movie with like Marvel characters, there's a recurring bit they do where they play Stan Lee, and it's always him taking credit for things Jack Kirby did. Where he just goes like, "Yeah, I was outside smoking a J next to a tree, and I was like, that's green. And I came up with the Hulk, and then I shat on Jack Kirby's grave." They just, so yeah, I mean, Jack Kirby was always had more. Maybe fame than someone like Bill Finger, who basically created Batman, but Bob Kane took all of the credit. And only recently is Bill getting the credit for it. But yeah, Jack
Sounds like
Kirby
a really
was
good James Bond villain, Bill Finger.
Bill Finger.
Hello, Mr. Finger.
Oh no! Oh no! We gotta switch.
Oh,
Switch.
Where are you going, Mr. Finger?
But yeah, I mean Jack Kirby is on the mind.
Oh, my God, Mr. Finger.
Jack Kirby's on the mind in terms of things I'm currently reading, because there's a new Mr. Miracle series, and Mr. Miracle is one of his creations.
Could you recommend a book, perhaps, some that has something to do with Jack Kirby?
I could. So there's actually a terrific play. It's called King Kirby. It's written by Crystal Skillman and Fred Van Lent, who are both comic book creators. Fred Van Lent is maybe most famous as the creator of Marvel Zombies. But they wrote a play about Jack Kirby and about his life. And someone that I may or may not know got to interview them about it, and that may or may not be published in the front of that play. So, yeah, I would definitely check that out, because that's an interesting. The play is an interesting a dramatization of that relationship with Stan Lee and that creative process and like who that person was too.
I really like his the video game they made where he like jumps around and eats stuff.
Yeah, Jack Kirby.
Yeah,
It's just
Jack Kirby's Dream World.
Now, if you'll notice, the counter has just hit 100 Jack Kirbys.
That's right.
So we now have to move on to the next piece of news.
That's right.
All right,
Sleep well.
let's go, super friends.
Wonder Woman Warbringers kicks off a new YA novel series? What's YA? It's like,
Young adult.
yeah, it's like U2.
Nope.
No. Yeah, similar. Yeah.
It's similar in that.
And that there's two figures.
Yeah.
So it's a new young adult novel. And it's a reimagining of the origin of Wonder Woman that seems to, from the synopses that I've read, seems to involve like other Greek myth. Like I think there's a character who has some relation to like Helen of Troy. And not just like a blood relation, but that idea that like this person is like the linchpin in some kind of cataclysmic war. A war bringer, if you will.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of like YA elements are going to get brought into it. Like, where it's just like, I don't like you anymore.
Like, angsty,
I'll see you back at school.
angsty Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman school.
I just put you in my burn book.
That's right. Ugh, that's what Wonder Woman's wearing today. Ugh.
Again, did she ever change?
Do you know what?
Yuck.
I'm often the first person to shit on YA books, but then you, Richard, brought my world down today when you reminded me that Harry Potter, which I love to death, is a YA series.
You're goddamn right.
So I don't even know what to do now. I'm sure it'll be great.
I am wearing a Hogwarts shirt.
And
right
in
now.
its time, actually, the Bible was also YA.
Was it?
Oh, yeah, big time. Big time.
Was it?
Do some acid, read it again.
Sure.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, so Justice League Dark finds a new writer.
Yep. So
So should this show.
yeah. So Justice League Dark is part of like the greenlit but pre-production.
It's been having a bunch of like crap going on with it. Like,
well, because I mean, it had been talked about for like quite some time with like possibly Guillermo del Toro and things like that. But basically, Justice League Dark encompasses like the magical realm of things. So it would be like John Constantine, Zatanna, Swamp Thing, Dead Man.
oh man,
Phantom
that would be so
Stranger.
good. People, why do people love like casting like or hiring Guillermo and then firing Guillermo
right, like
before
the
some-
Hobbit and then
or like that what's it that the video game, the Resident Evil video game.
was Guillermo on that?
It was not it wasn't Resident Evil. It was like the
Guillermo del Toro?
yeah.
He's amazing.
He was
Yeah.
tied to the guy who makes all the Metal Gear Solid games, and they did like a demo that was on PlayStation that was supposed to be a full game, and then they just canceled it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but it was
I think part
rad.
of that is that Guillermo has a very specific artistic vision, and anytime things waver from that, he's out.
yeah.
Which, if you get the luxury to do that, that's amazing. Like, good for you. But I think that's probably part of why that happens.
Yeah. Because I would love to see Guillermo do Swamp Thing, like in general.
That would be terrifying.
That would be so good.
The most
Avatar of the Green. Like, I want to hear.
like, everything.
I want to hear Avatar of the Green's opinion of this.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Avatar of the Green. We know you're out there, possibly inside the ficus in this room. I'd love to get your opinion on where Justice League Dark is and where it's headed and things like that. But yeah, I mean, basically, this news just amounts to they're still working on it. I wouldn't get too like amped about it. Like, it doesn't have a release date or anything, I don't think. But they haven't abandoned the project, so we could still see that sort of magical corner of DC come to.
Because that would be great. I'd be super into it. It's almost like DC's like it reminds me almost of like Universal monster movies.
Yeah,
Like,
could see like Etrick and the Demon.
oh man,
Yeah.
very cool.
Batman Beyond. Now we know why Batman quit.
Yeah, so Batman Beyond, the animated series, in the pilot episode, you see Bruce Wayne in his like
Mansion.
late 50s,
Yeah.
still fighting as Batman, and then he has like a heart attack, and so he has to give
50?
or like
He's
60
in
or
pretty good shape, I thought.
I'm not sure exactly what age they put him at, but basically he has like a heart attack in the middle of a fight, and he basically gives up being Batman. And then, the pilot goes on, and Terry McGinnis comes in, becomes the new Batman, and Bruce Wayne becomes like his Alfred.
Poor Bruce Wayne. He wouldn't even be able to know what his family history was on that.
You go on Ancestry.com.
Be like, oh, do
The medical records didn't get shot in an alley.
That's right.
Okay, new movie.
But
Just a lot of this.
End in ink. It's like actually Harry Potter.
There we go.
But,
I like it.
But in the Batman Beyond comic, they've kind of revealed like the secret real reason why Bruce had to give up being Batman, and it's that he had developed a technologically more advanced Beyond suit, but it had like an AI in it, and that AI started to override like his morality. Like it made him like hyper violent, like basically like a killer. And in the meantime, Terry has needed a new suit, and he found this thing, and he's been using it, and it's been affecting him. And Bruce is now like, "Oh, shit! What have you done?" So that's been the reveal: is that the Beyond suit itself is actually the ultimate reason why Bruce stopped being Batman. I mean, he would have stopped eventually anyway.
So old Yeller's the suit with Terry in it in the same alley that his parents got done.
Oh God,
cyclical.
He's like, no, Alfred, it's my suit.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
That is so depressing.
Again, new movie idea.
Jeez.
Good
I
God.
liked your old ideas.
Yeah.
This is so much darker.
That's uncharacteristically dark for you, yeah.
I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night.
Yeah. So that's that pretty much.
My espresso is also very bitter today.
Yeah, I saw your
My
face.
face, my poor face.
It's okay. We'll get you some coffee downstairs. Don't you worry. What's next?
Oh, my turn. Shazam director says de-aging is a hassle. We'll use 2 different actors for this role. This is kind of like that time when they were like, oh man, directing in water is hard.
Yeah,
it's a real deal.
Oh, age is a real bitch. Like,
no, I mean,
thanks,
like
Sigourney Weaver.
this is strange to me because I don't know why you would ever consider just de-aging an actor in this kind of movie. Like the idea of Shazam is that Billy Batson is a kid. He says Shazam and he becomes an adult superhero. I don't know why.
It was even on the table.
I mean, I know Marvel is great at de-aging. They've done it to Kurt Russell and Robert Downey Jr. and Michael Douglas like really well.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't make sense in this context. So like, yeah, I mean, that news is right. You're right. Like, as with the filming in water is hard. I don't know why it has to be said.
Is there actors you would love to see?
As one or the other, as Billy Batson or as Shazam?
But no. Yeah, it's both sides.
Oh, definitely the kid that played Jughead in the new Riverdale series.
I don't think I can picture
as the young.
I don't think he's young enough, is he?
Well, but the only reason I could think that the de-aging would be on the table is if maybe Billy isn't like a child, but like a teenager.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, fair enough. But
I think that would work just based on the fact that like we're kind of moving into more of a like an older Batman time. We're moving like things are kind of progressing. Like I don't think that viewers are expecting to see like a 6-year-old Billy Batson.
Except that, well, no, he's not meant to be 6. He's meant to be like 10 or something like that. But the whole point is that he's a wide-eyed kid who then is granted these superpowers, and he has to like maintain his like innocence and optimism while fighting evil. Like that's part of that.
Is he living
journey.
in a lonely world?
Yeah.
Did he take that midnight train?
He does take a train, and it goes straight to the Rock of Eternity, and that's where he gets his powers. But
so who would you like to see? That's what I want to know.
So this comes a little bit because we know that The Rock is Black Adam, and I know Black Adam won't be in that movie, but just thinking of them like paired opposite, I would kind of like to see John Cena as Shazam.
You know what? I was just going to say Channing Tatum.
Which is basically the same guy.
I just don't think Channing
Similar.
Tatum's big enough. You know, like to look like a physical.
Dude,
like
the guy's huge. He's been in so many movies.
I mean, like physically big enough.
Well, I thought he was bigger than John Cena. Is he not?
Oh God, no! John Cena's like a beast.
What about Josh Homme? Let's get Josh Homme.
The ultimate problem, though, with John Cena is that no one can see him.
So
That's a wrestling joke for those of you out there, wrestling fans. You guys are dying right now. You're welcome.
How young does he need to
silence.
be?
Sorry,
how young does he need to be Billy?
I don't know. Like I think like between 10 and 12 would make sense to me, but I don't know what they're going
Because I
for.
would love to see Finn from Stranger Things.
I
Billy.
haven't seen Stranger Things.
So good.
I don't even.
Is Finn the Demogorgon?
Yeah. Finn's the Demigorgon. Yeah, that's right.
I don't know.
I think it'd be really great. One of those kids, even the toothless one, would be really funny. The front teeth missing, the chubbier one with the hat. Any of those kids, I would love to see.
Wasn't just kind of a weird little side thing. Doesn't Finn have like a rock and roll band on the side?
I think he might.
Yeah, and he was also in Pup. They have a music video that he's in.
Oh,
and it kind of
Well, he is from Vancouver.
Yeah, Pup's a band out of Toronto, but they.
But I mean, Canadian.
Well, yeah, it's a Canadian thing, but he he's like one of these 3 kids that played like the 3 guys from the band Pop in this music video. It's really quite good.
Wow. I did not know that. That's actually really
Didn't know
cool.
that either. Yeah.
Check that out.
All right.
We should actually post that up on our website maybe.
We could post it anywhere.
We could. Yeah.
We have the platform.
Wherever the fuck we want to post
we have the
it.
power.
I don't know that I know enough like child actors to know who's out there for Billy. It'd probably be better if it was someone like unknown.
Is Macaulay Culkin still doing stuff?
Oh god, yeah. We want.
Actually, he
talked about how we don't want heroin addict Billy Batson. So,
No, but you know what though? I actually saw a picture of him the other day. He's looking like he's getting it together.
oh, like
he's
he's back on track.
Yeah. Which is
that's good.
Yeah.
I don't have a nomination for Billy Batson. John Cena's my nomination for Shazam.
I'm going to say any of those Stranger Things kids. I would love to see any one of them.
All right, fair enough.
That would be awesome.
What was the girl who plays 11? What's her name? Billy something? Billy?
Oh, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown.
You know what? You could. I mean, we're in the age.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like there have been a lot of really great kind of like transition type characters that we didn't really pay
That's true.
attention to based on kind of like that age thing, right?
I want to see it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm anxious to see who ends up in there. But yeah, I mean, frankly, saying that de-aging is a hassle and you're going to use 2 different actors to play Billy Batson and Shazam is not a surprise.
I feel like that's just a response because he's just like, I had no interest in doing it anyways.
Well, maybe, yeah. It might just be like that, yeah.
Because, sometimes press just like, is like, whoa, yeah, but why?
That's true.
You guys do it. Why don't you do it?
And then he's just like, well, why don't you do it then?
Why don't you shut up?
You just shut up your face, your stupid face.
Just shut up.
It does feel like some of the news articles I read.
Oh no. Too many episodes back. Let's go keep going forward.
Okay, so Etta Candy stars in the new Wonder Woman featurette.
I loved her in Wonder Woman.
Yeah. So this featurette,
Still haven't seen this.
What?
You'd like it actually.
I feel like I have this streaming thing called Plex, and I think I saw it on there.
I also gave you stuff from my hard drive. And
You have it on there?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not see that there.
Jeez.
We do not pirate and share information.
No, it's of all the purchases that I've made.
All the Korean subtitles.
There's like a red sniper dot in the room now.
Oh god.
DC execs, I know you're always listening, but stop.
Not like Ficus, help. So Etta Candy is in this like short scene, and the scene was not in the movie, but basically is Etta meeting up with the rest of that team, like Chief and Samir and things like that, and basically saying like, we have a mission, and basically the mission is to find this mother box that's been uncovered in no man's land. So that mother box then...
So that connects to
The idea is that would be... Because there are 3 mother boxes. There's one in Atlantis, there's one on Themyscira, and the humans had one. So that the one they found in no man's land would be the human one, which eventually would be the one you saw in Batman vs. Superman creating Cyborg.
Oh.
So that's like... It's just like a little piece of connective tissue.
Which is nice. Is that going to be on like is that a DVD
It's
content?
on the Blu-ray or... Yeah.
Blu-ray.
So...
DVD, what am I?
Yeah, what year is it?
Easy 2003.
So it's nothing crazy, but it's just like a little piece of connective tissue just to help get people excited leading up to Justice League and showing how everything's sort of tied together.
Ooh, so we have this next section. It's very exciting.
Super Pets!
No. We got a part before that. You tend to skip past things when you're reading your
I get excited.
pages.
I saw Super Pets. I got excited.
And we will get there, but
Super Pets!
I have something for
I
you.
have to read.
We've taken quite some time off from this little segment.
I know. This has been a while. We've actually been haven't been in this room in a while.
Because I messed up.
Good. This is
Also, we had a lot of stuff already
I
pre-planned.
messed up, and I broke Colin's trust
That's true.
with the last reading assignment.
Don't worry. I won't let the bad man touch you like that again.
So basically,
He didn't touch it on a doll.
Show me on the comic where he touched you.
but I found an issue.
So is this your peace giving?
This is like a huge olive branch.
It's going to be a Gnort for sure.
No.
It's not, but I think you'll like it. It's a comic book that's basically a self-contained story. It's nothing too weird, but it gives you lots of good like character moments, and you get to learn about someone you might not know that much about.
Ragman's dad.
That's so weird.
He's dead. It's
called-
in that alley.
Oh, yeah.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, it's
Mr. Ragman.
background story.
before Ragman.
Mr. Towel.
Ragdad.
Towel begins.
Wait, does Ragman's dad go on to be in South Park as Towley?
Towel. Oh, God.
Oh,
DC
don't forget to
execs.
bring your rags.
So, the comic book that I'm going to give you, Colin, is, drum roll.
Putting on my white gloves.
That's right. Booster Gold, Volume 1, Number 7.
It's a climactic.
Terrifying.
It's actually...
Does he have kind eyes?
I think you're really going to like it. Remember, you're only allowed to talk about his eyes because that's a precedent that's been set, but otherwise we're not going to talk about it until...
Hey, Richard. I want to ask you a very important question.
Yeah,
what does
Colin.
it look like is happening?
No. No.
Would you dare say that there's some booster
I feel like
gold?
I'm going to say that somebody's eyes don't look very kind.
And there's someone in the back, I don't know, mic drop watching? What's going on over
A little
here?
bit, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Loop down.
That's true. It does look like that. But yeah, Booster Gold, Volume 1, Number 7. I think you will honestly actually like this. I searched very hard through my collection to find a peace offering. And I think this is it. So next episode, we're going to break that issue down.
Can I just, like, right out of the gates jump into something about this?
Only if it's eye related,
that I've-
because
that I'm
otherwise we
noticing?
gotta save it.
Well, it looks like the gold guy punched him in the right eye pretty hard.
It's eye related, I
That's
guess.
technically eye related. Well done.
But it's on the cover. It says the man of gold versus the man of steel. And if I know anything about gold, it's very malleable and soft. So we gotta know who wins this one.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but your knowledge of chemical properties hasn't led you astray yet.
And who's this lion man in the background?
Are you asking too many questions?
You'll have to actually read the comic for that. I'm not getting into that.
And this is by Jurgens and DiCarlo. So I'm looking forward to it not being.
Hey, Colin. Super Pets.
Super Pets. Why do you wreck it when I already
Super
made it?
Pets.
Oh, I made it so good.
I'm just glad that he didn't try to do one of those ones where he
Racist
tries.
Super Pets?
No, where he tries to rhyme and it gets sad.
Super Pets. That's this section. Don't touch me there.
No, Jesus Christ.
Don't say erection.
You don't read my mind.
Yeah, I get you.
So yeah,
Unfortunately.
You get me.
we're talking about Super Pets.
Super Pets.
Super Pets. So Chad Bokelman on Facebook says,
Chad Bokelman.
shut up.
We love that guy.
He says, how about the super pet that pushed Alan Scott out of his own book, Streak the Wonder Dog? What can you tell us about his story?
Yeah, so
His history.
So a couple of things in there. Alan Scott, for those who might not be familiar, is the name of the Golden Age Green Lantern. So before they were space cops, there was only one Green Lantern.
Isn't that Michael Scott's brother
Yeah,
from The Office?
yeah. So Alan Scott was the only Green Lantern, and before it was fueled by the green light of willpower, it was just like a magic ring that could make things that he imagined.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah. So Alan Scott was the Golden Age Green Lantern,
Oh.
and
I'm so sorry, you guys were children.
Edit point.
It's all
You can't make edit points for a thing that I edit.
edit point.
keep saying edit point.
Edit point. Okay.
This is the part where we edit this out on account of.
I only just found out that nothing's ever been edited.
Are you not? You're not doing any of the listen back? Quality control. What kind of doctor are you?
Yeah, no kidding.
What kind of checkups?
Do your
happen?
research.
So, Alan Scott, Golden Age Green Lantern. He was the star of his own comic book, and occasionally this dog, Streak the Wonder Dog, would show up. Streak didn't have powers per se, but you would
Man,
see
did he like taking off his clothes?
yeah. But he
He's a dog.
Dogs wear clothes. Pluto. Wait, was
Only-
Pluto the one that
Pluto
wore
didn't
clothes?
wear
Only
clothes.
Who was the one that wore
Goofy.
clothes? Goofy.
Only assholes put clothes on dogs. Let's just put that out there. Don't put clothes on your dogs, please.
Unless you're putting shirts or sweaters on them.
edit point.
Don't put clothes on animals.
I'll show you Lucy with a sweater. She loves that sweater.
She's a dog. She has a fur sweater.
No, just let me know when you're done.
Okay, if you think clothes on dogs are cool, hashtag dog clothes, yes. if you don't,
If you're-
hashtag dog clothes no.
Yeah, if you're a reasonable human being, it'll be hashtag dog clothes no. So
guys, back me up here.
And a doctor just said it, so it's
Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern, occasionally would be joined by Streak the Wonder Dog. And Streak didn't have powers, but you would see like thought bubbles. Like you would see Streak being like, oh, someone needs help. But like in a thought bubble. He couldn't actually talk. Pretty much. He couldn't actually talk, but then he would go and help out and save the day. What Chad's kind of referring to is that on a couple of occasions, Streak the Wonder Dog actually made the cover without Green Lantern being there. And not only that,
That son of a bitch.
his story actually spun out into like oh I see what you did there.
yeah, nailed it.
His story actually spun out into a short run in Sensation Comics where it was just Streak the Wonder Dog and they didn't even mention Green Lantern.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. I don't know why, because to be perfectly honest, the stories aren't that good or that interesting.
It kind of went from Alan, Billy fell in the well to oh, you're drinking? Okay, I'll be right back. I'll go get Billy out of the well.
Yeah, who knows what Green Lantern was busy doing, but Streak the Wonder Dog did briefly kind of spin off and get his own series, but like, yeah, frankly, I mean, he didn't really have powers. The stories aren't that exciting. It was just like, I think kids were just like, look, the doggy's helping. And then that became like a thing because it was like the 40s when those comics were coming out.
I was going to say, like, what era was this?
Yeah, these are old comics. So I think that's part of it. But
when dogs used to be big and helpful and you couldn't carry them around in your pocket or put clothes on them.
Yeah, now they're just scared and won't come near people that are showing up for their podcast.
yeah.
That's entirely your dog's fault. That is not on us.
Except for the times you guys hit him, but that's fine.
With hugs.
Oh, that's Sniper Dot's back. But yeah, so I mean, it must be a little bit humiliating if you're Alan Scott to get not only pushed off the cover of your own book, but then to have Streak like get his own spinoff.
Poor Michael just ended up working at Dunder Mifflin. Like, talk about that.
Just still hammering that joke.
I
huh?
really want that to work,
I'm
don't
PJ
you?
filling the fuck out of this.
Yeah,
one.
okay. Hey, you know what? That was hilarious that he kept bringing back that.
Barry Allen. He's cashing checks all over the country.
Oh, it was good. All right, what's next?
It was funny the first, like,
All right, it was hilarious the whole time. Keep going.
Edit point.
Adam Upper. Fuck you. Not Adam Upper. I'm not saying fuck you.
No, Adam, you're great.
You're a great guy. Do you think Batman / Bruce Wayne would chill out if he had a cute corgi or
Wait.
such?
Would he? If Batman / Bruce Wayne, why are we putting those two guys together?
Well,
though?
because I feel like maybe they are friends.
Richard,
maybe they would share a dog.
We've got
They're
something.
roommates.
We've got something to tell you,
Well,
This is
I don't.
bullshit.
I don't know.
Don't Santa Claus this for
I don't.
him.
I don't understand.
guys.
We're ripping the Band-Aid off?
Oh yeah,
What? Huh?
Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Shut up. That's.
When have you ever seen them in the same
Yeah, that's.
room?
Yeah, but we've never seen Richard and Superman in the same room either. So.
Fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, weird. There's that red dot again.
That's right.
And he doesn't seem worried about it at all. Like
No,
it'll just
it's-
bounce off him.
Oh my god, the red dot's on me. It's coming from him.
You know, no. You know what? Honestly, some.
Oh, my beard!
And you know what? There's some kids at school that were saying that this. So I kind of had a feeling this was coming. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so Batman and Bruce Wayne, who are in fact the same, sorry, Richard. Yeah, would they chill out if he had a cute corgi or some such? I suspect not, but that's mostly because Batman doesn't let himself chill out. Like if it were as simple as like just being around a cute puppy, I don't think Batman would be able to be Batman. Batman does have a dog. It's not a corgi.
Bat dog.
His name is Ace the Bat-Dog.
Of course
he's
it
like
is.
a big like a hound, like a bloodhound
Kind
kind of dog.
I thought he was a Doberman.
I don't know dog breeds, so maybe.
I think I'm
but
pretty sure it was a Doberman.
it's like a big black dog.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
Doberman. Yeah.
Well, that's the color of the dog.
I don't see God dog's colors.
Yeah, just like you don't see Green Lantern.
That's
color. So I mean, Batman does have a dog. I wouldn't say that it helps him chill out.
I think it's just a dog just as dark and aggressive
I was going to
as
say,
him.
I think maybe it might be the breed of the dog also.
No, hey, it's not the breed.
Actually, Ace is
Not the breed, it's the owner.
Ace the Bat-Dog is in the Batman Beyond series and like is often like
That's
aggressive
right.
with
Yes,
Terry.
yes.
Like the dog is probably less chill than Batman is.
I wonder if he reacts differently to Bruce Wayne
or than Batman.
Like he's very serious with Batman, and then when he's with the Bruce Wayne, they're just like chilling.
This is. I'm sorry, I can't get past this. The next thing you guys are going to tell me is like what, like Clark Kent is Superman? It's ridiculous. Shut up. Let's just keep going. I can't.
Okay, but a new movie pitch: Bruce Wayne as a dog walker.
And then
He's just in the park.
And then what happens?
He's just walking dogs.
And then he shows up at his job to fix the computer.
I mean, I know you don't know very much about comic books, but I'm getting the sense you don't know very much about movies either now.
It could be like a meet cute thing, and then he like bumps into like somebody else walking dog.
Yeah, Oliver Queen.
No,
walking an arrow.
Hold on. I got it.
Wait.
I got it. Bruce Wayne is walking his dog in Central Park, and it starts like freaking out.
Okay.
And it
I like this.
gets loose off the leash.
Oh no!
And it runs through the park.
Oh my god! What's gonna happen?
And so Bruce Wayne is chasing this dog. Oh
yeah.
my god! Oh my god!
You better get him.
And then the dog stops dead
Okay.
in the middle.
Oh,
middle
now
of
you can
this park.
catch him.
Okay.
And this guy turns around.
Oh my god! Who is it?
Like the dog was Batman? Like the dog ran away?
Like the guy.
He like stops in front of this like hooded figure, and the guy turns around.
So sorry, in the middle in the middle of chasing the dog through the park, he manages to change and then get in front of the dog.
No, it becomes this thing where Bruce Wayne isn't Batman.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't know much about storylines.
Yeah, I feel okay. I know you know a lot about comics.
What I will say is that's not a great movie, but that's a great opening to a movie.
But okay, and this is
Well, how do you think movies start?
Can I just say this though? Remember how Dick Grayson becomes Batman at one point?
Yes, he does.
What?
A great
Colin.
What a great transition that would be from like Bruce Wayne Batman to the next Batman, where Bruce Wayne is just out chill walking his dog and
Just
boom,
like throwing
transition.
out like spoilers.
What just did you just everything about that was right. Colin.
That's how Batman
Up is
retires.
down.
This is how
Cats
Batman
and
retires.
super dogs
We are
living together.
a fortnight's worth of episodes in, and Colin is like regularly surprising me now. That's amazing.
I come up with really great ideas on the spot.
You also are just like learning.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
I mean,
Fuck you. I'm not learning a damn thing. I refuse.
fake news.
So at any rate, Adam,
That's a huge amount of fake news. It's huge.
I hope that answers your question about Bat Dog.
And then also
Sort of.
excites you about a new movie.
That's right.
DC execs also fucking listen up. I want some writing credits on that one. That's my concept.
All right.
Fucking nailed that. Do we have an animator on our staff or something? Or in our friend group?
I
just
do a
make it.
little bit.
On our staff.
Like we have. I do a little bit of drawing.
What about that guy?
I made that neat illustration of you.
Oh yeah, you did. It was a good job.
Yeah.
Buddy. Still waiting for legs.
You'll keep waiting.
I'm all torso.
Edit point.
Oh, so what? It just
What?
opens with us laughing? It's like a great,
Totally natural.
great conversation, very serious point, and then hysterical. Laugh. Oh, these guys are dark.
You know what?
Wouldn't be the
It's
weirdest.
never coming, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh.
Hold on.
And now cut the laughter in here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
We're going to move on to Josh Gill has a question.
sure.
Mr. Gill.
Outside of Crypto and Ace, which we just covered,
We did, yeah.
I seem to recall Green Arrow having a dog. and
Oh, I think you also
Aquaman
covered that.
having a dolphin as pets.
What?
Was there ever a series that focused on the super pets or an all pet version of the Justice League? That seems like who heads that meeting?
So there's
Who says who's the one that's like sit?
so
How did dolphins sit?
well, hang on. There's just a couple of things here. Aquaman didn't have a dolphin as a pet. In the 90s,
Dolphin had Aquaman as a pet.
no, no, actually, weirder than that. In the 90s, they retconned Aquaman's origin a little bit. He was actually partially raised by dolphins. He had dolphin family members No, they not like genetically. Stop miming. He was like adopted by basically a family of dolphins. So he had like dolphin siblings and like dolphin adoptive parents, not pets.
So he adopted them as
No,
parents?
they
or
adopted
No, they
him.
adopted
Oh,
him.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
You did say it was weirder, so I'm just I'm just covering some
And
bases.
then, I mean, as far as an all pet version of the Justice League, as far as I know, there isn't really a version where just the pets of the Justice League got together and fought crime. But there is a animal version of the Justice League on a parallel Earth. So we've talked before about Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew, and
It's a zoo crew.
and they live on Earth 26. That's the cartoon heroes. So Rodney Rabbit is Captain Carrot, and then there's also they're all just like anthropomorphized animals with superpowers. But on that Earth, Rodney Rabbit is a comic book artist.
Oh, is this the
comic
super
book
cartoon world?
Yeah, and then the comic book that he draws is called Just a Lot of Animals. It's the JLA. So it's animal versions of the Justice
Okay,
League.
that's kind of amazing.
Including like Firestork instead of Firestorm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just dropping fire babies down, or what?
It's just all it's all like puns, right?
You ever been fire baby bombed before? Firestork.
So that Earth pre-crisis was Earth C-, and I don't know if it still exists anymore. But that
I would-
C minus.
yeah, because
Because that's the
originally
review of the book.
no, because originally Captain Carrot was on Earth C. So then this like sub world that he had created was Earth C-. But yeah, so the Just a Lot of Animals might be the closest version to something like that. Hawk Moose is another one. Instead of Hawkman, he's a moose with wings.
No, I get it.
It's
That's
Hawk Moose.
That's dumb. It's like a moose with. How is it going to fly? How big are those wings?
Hawk Moose. I'm just going to keep saying it until it lands. Can we cut the laughter in here?
Is it a moose that has hawk-sized wings, or is it like
Yes.
a hawk-sized moose?
No. No, it's a moose with hawk size. No, sorry. It's a
great pet.
It's a moose with hawk wings that are the appropriate size for a moose.
Yeah, but that.
Oh, I got some wings behind me.
Was that Bullwinkle?
I'm trying to. I've
that's
never
really
tried
bad.
it before.
I mean, I knew where you were going for.
yeah,
It was like half goofy, half full.
It was close to good.
yeah, I know. I've never done it before. I'm trying to go for my memory. It's been 20 years.
You never done it before? Your first time?
It was my first time. Did it feel all right?
It did feel like the first time.
Feels like
very
the very first time.
But actually, there's something in here. Like, do you know who Crypto is?
No.
So at the beginning of this question, Josh said outside of Crypto and Ace. So Ace, like we just talked about, is the Bat Dog. Crypto is Superman's dog. He's literally
Superman has a dog?
not just a dog.
Why would he? Why would he?
It's a Kryptonian dog. The dog has the powers of
Is he
Superman.
allergic to his dog?
No, he's not a kryptonite dog. He's Kryptonian. He's
Oh,
from
right.
Krypton.
That was obvious.
It was.
No, it wasn't.
A dog made of kryptonite. It's kind of
Yeah,
it's kind of ridiculous.
Hey, there's one thing that kills me. Better get a whole dog made of it.
Well, actually, that pet would be great for one of his enemies.
Yeah, but not him.
And he's like not great.
Are
with
we not having the
animals.
same conversation?
It's just like a rock that's like a dog painted on it, but it's a kryptonite rock from like the 70s.
But no, Crypto is from Krypton, so he's a dog with the powers of Superman. Like he's got like heat vision and can fly and he's
Jack.
super strong and yeah.
He's like fetch. He's like, go fuck yourself.
Well, no, he
Flips his hair.
can like fetch a mountain.
Bow wow wow yippee yo yippee.
Nope. No. We're not bringing back early 2000s awful hip hop.
The song itself actually was a little bit earlier than that.
Was it really?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it's... Yeah, anyways.
That was really soft spoken. Is Dolph Lundgren here?
Hey guys.
For those who didn't get that, that's a callback to an earlier episode. Download all of our previous episodes.
That's right.
Listen through.
You can find them on our website, drdcpodcast.com or .ca.
But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, there isn't actually a series focused on the super pets all teaming up.
just the regular JLA.
There might be a couple of specials, especially with like Streaky the Super
Just a
Cat
lot
and
of
stuff like that. But I think the Just a Lot of Animals is maybe the closest you get to like a pet or like an animal Justice League.
Okay, but here's something that so there was at one point where Superman like dies.
Yeah.
And then all these other guys are like vying for his spot.
Yes.
Shh. I'm talking. Adults are talking. Why would one of those guys not make a kryptonite dog for just in case Superman comes back? Because they do hold him in like a kryptonite jail.
No, it's not a kryptonite jail. They have his corpse in a Kryptonian regeneration matrix.
Right. And then they use that to like steal his powers.
The Eradicator does.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Colin,
here's the
you're
thing.
on fire.
Here's the thing.
What did I
Why
say?
do you
He's on
make a
fire.
What did I say?
dog.
If he does this on 3 more episodes, I'm retiring.
Yeah, I know. It's over.
Colin takes over.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's on fire.
There's way too much research involved, and I don't have the lab resources for this.
From downtown.
Stop it.
4-3.
But why wouldn't one of those guys like make a kryptonite dog? That's exactly.
Why don't they just take crypto, kill crypto,
God, no.
skin crypto, put his body skin around a kryptonite?
No.
We are not advocating for animal abuse.
Oh, crypto,
Well,
is that you?
Okay, the closest answer I can give to that is that
Come for a hug. It hurts.
the Eradicator and Cyborg Superman and Superboy, who were 3 of the 4, all
they
have
all
have some version of Kryptonian powers, so kryptonite would likely also hurt them.
Even the one that's a cyborg?
But he's drawing his powers from Superman's corpse. And then the only one that is a human in there, Steel, is a good guy and wouldn't do that. I mean, I think that is why, but also that it seems like a little bit of a cumbersome plan.
So then Lex Luthor should have a dog made out of kryptonite.
I mean, Lex has lots of stuff with kryptonite in it, but
So like a dog would be.
I guess he could, but I mean, he has
He'd have
lots
like a little collar with a little like kryptonite on it, kind of
You
thing.
just want a kryptonite dog.
Yes, I do so bad. I want for Superman to be allergic to a dog. I think it'd be hilarious.
Okay, but like, is it just a rock shaped like a dog? Because you can't just like have.
Be animated.
Now you're bringing life to a kryptonite.
You're putting a guy in a fucking tube and sucking his energy out. Like, of course you can make anything up. It's a cartoon, you jackass.
I hate to say it, but Colin's got a point.
Yeah, no, I can't argue with that.
Like
Because comic books, or what's the
Because Speed Force.
Yeah, because
at one point I read a book about a book. So like, let's just get past that.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
fucking Grant Morrison.
Morrison.
All right.
So we're going back to Chad Bokelman.
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 I want my Bokelman. Chad Bokelman.
Okay, so now that the 1980s are over,
There's the 90s. Chili's.
Chad Bokelman wants to know: Does the entirety of the Zoo Crew count? And then he says, if only to hear Colin's hysterical laughter each time you name a new member.
Sure. So, yeah, the Zoo Crew, which I have. We've just brought up.
Always stick together.
Yeah, we did just bring up the Zoo Crew. So, I've talked a lot about Captain Carrot.
And I laughed a lot about that.
But there are some other members of the Zoo Crew. So,
Best friend
one
forever.
of them is named Pig Iron, and he's a super strong purple pig.
That sounds bad.
One of them is Fastback. He's a turtle speedster.
Oh, that's cute.
One of them is
That's cute.
Ali Catabra. Yeah, there you go. It's a cat. It's a cat
That's pretty
magician.
good. Oh, okay, that's really good. I like
One of
that
them is Rubber Duck.
Rubber ducky in my mouth.
And there's
How's that one go?
there's little cheese. Little cheese is a mouse that can shrink. He's basically
of
like
course.
the Atom.
He gets
like that.
smaller?
Those
A
kind of,
mouse that can get smaller than a mouse?
yeah, little cheese.
What about Big Cheese? Is he the one who turns into a city sewer rat?
Oh,
And he hangs out with turtles.
cheese.
you want some fucking cheese?
Hey, I'm cheesing here.
Welcome to the fun cartoon world. You want some fucking cheese?
Piece of shit. Give me some fucking pizza.
He's not hanging with the Ninja Turtles.
So here,
You like this fucking mouse?
here's
you like
one.
what she looks like?
I have one.
I'll get you a mouse.
I have one that he'll laugh at. That I forgot about. Yankee Poodle.
So, Chad, I'm sorry that I let you down, but I feel like Richard picked up the slack for all all of that.
Yankee Poodle went to town.
Yeah.
Is Yankee Poodle from France?
Riding on a pony.
What accent is that?
I'm really going for French. I don't know why I can't do it.
This is awful. I'm sorry, you guys.
But yes,
hello.
basically the zoo crew, sure, let's count it. They kind of count as they're not pets because they're their own people, but they are animals. So yeah, that's a few other members
so
of the
is
zoo
Animal
crew.
from the Muppets, but he's still his own person.
Animal.
And actually a pretty good drummer.
Yeah.
Me fight crime.
Keep the beat, drum.
So Mallory Vanier.
Sure.
Oh, Mrs. Vanier. Coming back.
Madame Vanier? You're going with? Can you clarify Aquaman's powers with aquatic creatures? How he communicates with them, whether it's fish or mammals or just any aquatic creature?
Sure. So one of Aquaman's superpowers it's called marine telepathy. So it means he can communicate with sea life. There's been a few different versions of it in like early Aquaman comics. It would be like he would literally be like talking to them. He'd be like, "Hey, like shrimp, need your help over
Get
here."
in my body
like,
for sustenance.
or that, right? But
I'm trying to impress this woman. Come over for dinner, shrimp. I don't know how you cook shrimp, so
yep.
jump in the butter.
Jump.
Get eaten.
Nom, nom, nom.
In modern comics, they've kind of adapted it a little bit so that it's not that he's directly speaking to them. It's not like he speaks their language or things like that, but it's that he has a bit of like a telepathic ability and he can basically like place what I guess you call it like a post-hypnotic suggestion. He can sort of like coerce animals into, swim that way, like help that boat, or
I've got a white van. It's got bikes and candies in it.
no. Now, what I will say, it is marine telepathy for what
That was the noise that it made, right?
yeah, like that. In the comics, it's like like VU.
Yeah.
So it's like
Aquaman, what are you doing? It's called Jessica's feet. No, telepathy.
Fart.
so because of his physiology,
I like this name, Fart.
his telepathy works particularly well on marine life, but he has used it on like non-marine animals and on aliens and things like that before. Now his like telepathic ability isn't as strong as someone like Martian Manhunter, but there is a comic where both he and Martian Manhunter use their telepathy to try and fight Despero. Aquaman's not strong enough to do it, but he has like used it in a non like ocean sense before. So it's not that he can only use it in the ocean or that it only works on those things. But I think because of his physiology, that's where it's most likely to work. Because he's not like a full on telepath.
Who's the sea god with the Triton again?
Poseidon?
Yeah. Is that like his dad?
Not his dad.
His uncle?
No, nothing.
Oh, I get it. It's like his really cool uncle.
Nothing
Like,
that
helps him
closely.
learn that cool stuff. 'Cause
Nothing
kids don't
that
ever
closely
wanna do what their
related.
dads do.
Hey, not all uncles are cool.
Why would you give him the opening for that goddamn joke?
Oh, I totally forgot that he pretends to get bad touched by his uncle.
Poseidon is not that closely related, but basically, like in the old days of Atlantis, he's the one that like gave the trident and bestowed some magic on those people. And
Your
things like
parents said I'm here to pick you up.
that. So there is a connection to Poseidon for Atlantis and for Aquaman, but it's
He's
not.
like his godfather.
But it's not
I
like
got terrible
Wonder Woman.
news. Your mom came on Earth. I came to get you. It's gonna be fine.
What's the password? It's fish. Shut up.
Voo, 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 voo. Just get in the van.
Magic carp. Let's fucking go.
Just like super sarcastic and disinterested in him as a human being, like as an entity.
Yes, that's right.
It's like, yeah, great, Aquaman, whatever. Get the fuck in the van.
Whatever. Let's go.
I don't like any of this.
Yeah, I'm your uncle. Whatever. Shut up. Let's go. If you say fucking edit point.
So at any rate,
I digress.
yeah. So that telepathy that it does make him. It means that he can also sort of latently sense if telepathy is being used somewhere, but he doesn't necessarily have the power to like intercept or understand it unless it's like in that marine context. So Aquaman used to just straight up actually like talk to sea life, but now it's more of like a subconscious sort of like thought connection.
Like Ant-Man, the way he gets the ants to move around.
Yeah, it's more like that now. Well, I mean, I don't really know the comic books of Ant-Man, but like what they do in the movie where he kind of just like guides them. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
So it's like someone used that power on Aquaman's mom when she came on Earth.
Well, no. Who could use that on her? She's the one from Atlantis.
Well, yeah. Well, she comes out of the water. She probably doesn't have her powers. She can't control.
She comes out of the water, but she still gets
when he leaves
wet.
the water.
What? Don't. Those hips don't lie. Carrying on. Josh Gill says, Con Gorilla, Jack and Napes, Grod. He growed. He growed so big.
He got so big he growed.
He growed. Ultra Humanite, Titano, all ape villains. Why is it the DC seems to have a thing with making gorillas and apes villains and not other species of animals?
Sure.
For example, a dog made out of kryptonite. But boom, with you on that one, Josh Gill.
The obvious example.
Yeah, clearly.
So
it does really. They really do have a hard on for gorillas.
Well, it's true.
They?
So we've talked about a couple of these. So Gorilla Grodd is probably the most famous one. He's a major enemy of the Flash, and he's shown up on the Flash TV show. Ultra Humanite, we talked about. He's the guy that put his
brain inside.
Exactly, put his mind into the albino mutant gorilla. That's right.
Stupid ass gorilla.
Titano, actually, Colin, you'd like this. Titano is a gorilla that was hear me out. That was experimented on and can.
I don't like this at all.
And can project kryptonite. Yeah. And in some versions, it's like almost basically like a gorilla or a robot gorilla, like stuffed with kryptonite. Like, so that's pretty close to what you wanted.
It's like kind of what I wanted.
So that's Titano. Jack and Apes was like
weirdest taxidermy ever, by the way.
Yeah. Jack and Apes was like a weird pseudo sidekick of the Joker.
It sounds like a really bad like morning like radio show or something. Like you're on there with Jack and Apes.
Yeah. Jack and Apes was like a Joker sidekick.
Jack and Apes in the morning with the Joker.
Kongorilla is a
really bad lineup of gorillas.
You know. Well,
dun 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 dun.
Adventurer Congo Bill finds this magic ring, and when he puts the ring on and like spins it or something like that, his mind is transported into this like mystical like golden gorilla. But then while that is happening, like a cave-in happens and his like human body is destroyed, so he's trapped in the gorilla. Kongorilla is actually not a villain. Kongorilla is a hero.
Meanwhile, when married men spin their ring, they're just really annoyed,
searching for the combination.
Oh, fuck.
I forget who said that. I thought that was a funny joke, though. I like that. What? When married men spin their ring, it's them looking for the combination.
That's actually awesome.
But yeah, I mean, there is definitely a thing with making gorillas and apes villains. I don't know what the actual reason is, but I sort of suspect that it's gorillas and apes are... I mean, we're closely related as human beings. So
they're gigantic.
But they're gigantic and way stronger.
Theory,
and,
guys. Come on.
No, it's not creationism. It's literally the opposite of creationism.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no way those guys are connected to us. We're very different.
Oh. But what I mean is that they're close.
Because Speed Force.
yeah, that's right. That's a whole new kind of creationism. They're close to us in terms of like recognizable shape, like arms, legs, face. Like you can see those kind of humanish qualities in them, but they are like big and like way stronger than we are and kind of terrifying and more agile than we are. Like
I don't know. We have guns.
Gorillas and apes already have like abilities we don't.
No, they don't. They don't have cell phones.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
I didn't say they have all of our abilities. I said they have abilities we don't.
Language?
Yeah, they totally have language.
Yeah.
Oh, and so do we. Multiple languages.
I know, but
different dialects.
This is still not the argument, though, Colin.
We're not.
I'm saying they can do things we can't.
Like what?
They have thumbs on their feet. They have 4 hands.
It's true. They
Yeah,
can climb.
and again, we have guns and technology.
It's just in a
and the
competition.
I don't know why you think you're winning.
Shut up, gorilla.
You're the one that was like, it's a fucking comic book.
I'm just saying, why be afraid of something that,
But what I'm saying is, I think like if you're taking
can't delete its own browser
if you're taking
history.
an animal and giving it additional powers or abilities, if you took a gorilla and gave it our intelligence and gave it guns, like Monsieur Mala, which is not on this list,
It would
but
just be a dolphin then, with a laser beam attached to its back.
no, it would still be a gorilla because that's not how biology works. But
It's comic books.
everyone knows that gorilla plus intelligence and guns equals dolphin, right?
Dan Marino.
No, but I think the idea is that you're taking something that's basically already a bigger, more imposing, more threatening, or more unknown version of a human, and then giving it powers and abilities. And I think that's probably why that's more of a go-to than like there's not like a whole host of like slug supervillains because
like what about like wolves or like eagles or something like that? Like they're
there's a couple, but like like Josh
the most
brought up,
annoying eagle sound ever.
there aren't
are you?
a ton.
I'm sad.
And I mean, the thing with eagles is that they only show up right at the end, right when you need them to fight the Nazgul. So,
Wow.
Lord of the Rings joke.
Wow.
Everyone who loves Lord of the Rings is killing themselves
How are you
right
gonna
now.
get there? Just fly.
Fly, you fools! You're like, you fucking walked? No.
That would like the actual conversation that we didn't get to see.
That would be really funny.
They get there.
That's not book.
This was an option.
That's not book consistent, that theory, but it is really funny in the context of the movies. If you imagine that he's just telling them to like hop an eagle, he's like, fly, you fools. Yeah. But at any rate, I think that's why gorillas and apes are such a go-to.
Should have been Frodo Dum Dum.
Yeah, take that, fictional character.
Nailed it.
Bleh. All right.
I think we did it.
Is there anything else? Is that the last of them?
Oh, you know what? I think we got a last minute one that I can pull up. Hold on. Check in the interwebs. Gonna look on my phone. Here's a guy named Jeb.
I mean, it's closer than you've ever been.
That's what I'm heading for. So we actually got one from Avatar of the Green.
Oh
Grant.
my God, the ficus lives.
Yes. Here's one for Grant.
We can't trust this in the room.
Fake news. So he says, I know it's way too late for the recording. Haha, we actually took that day off.
Yeah, we did.
But I wanted to throw in a vote for Dex Star of the Red Lantern Corps.
Sure. The Red Lanterns, we've talked about this briefly in previous thing. Instead of being fueled by willpower, the Red Lanterns are fueled by rage. So Red Lanterns are people that possess great rage, and then that ring gives them certain abilities, and they can make constructs like a Green Lantern can, but they also can like spew like blood, like acid and shit like that.
Yeah, well, he posted this thing. He posted that question on Twitter, and with it, a photo of like there was like a guy in like a Red Lantern costume with a cat head that's blue, and he.
So it's not just a cat head.
The Lantern Corps is a lot like Lord of the Rings. The ring giveth.
Yes,
And the ring taketh away.
So it's actually not a cat head. Dex Star, the Red Lantern, began life as Dexter, a little kitty cat on Earth. This kitty cat was like abandoned, but then was adopted by this very lonely person, and the cat.
Yeah, that's what happens with cats.
But
lonely people.
But they have like a lovely friendship, and the cat finally feels loved, and then. There's a burglary. There's a burglary, and the owner is murdered.
And then the cat eats the. Yeah.
No,
Like in
and
Keanu.
then the cops come to solve it, and they kick the cat out of the apartment because it'll contaminate the crime scene, and it lives on the street. And these two people start abusing the cat, and then they put the cat in a bag and drop it off a bridge to drown it.
Jesus.
And right in that moment, when like the world is bleakest and this cat is about to die, and it's scared and angry, a Red Lantern ring finds it. Gives it some degree of sentience, and that cat kills the shit out of the people that tried to kill it.
The cops.
There's actually like there's a really sad.
Different people that dropped it off.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if it wasn't for that.
Well, so now this cat is consumed with rage. It's a member of the Red Lantern Corps, but there is like a frame in the sort of origin story comic where the cat's curling up at the end of the night and it's having memories of its owner who was murdered. And the cat just says like, I will find who hurt you, I good kitty, and just like goes to sleep.
Sounds like most cats. They're just terrifyingly evil.
But that's Dexstar. Dexstar is now basically like the sidekick / pet of Atrocitus, the leader of the Red Lanterns.
Colin, it sounds like you have an issue with cats.
Okay, so I'm going to just drop a little history. I'll do a little origin story for you guys about cats.
Edit point.
I'll find you.
Hey, I haven't said anything. It's him.
Oh, I'm just. So when I was a young little human in the world,
Tell me where the cat hurt you.
No, my family went to go visit. Like my parents took me to go visit some family that owned a farm, and they had like a litter of kitties, and I was like, "Oh, they're so cute. They're so small like me." Huh? And then my mom was like, "I'm allergic," and I was like, "Oh, that's a great lie. I'm gonna save that for when I have kids." And then, so flash forward, like I'm in my middle to late 20s now, and I'm a touring musician. I live with this band that I tour with, and they have a cat called Phineas. And this cat
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name for how horrible this cat is. This cat is like this. It's the most psychotic thing I've ever met in my life. It is the destroyer of worlds.
Wow.
It is just the ruiner of all things good and wonderful.
It's like an angry cat.
It's a terrible cat.
Well, treat it well, because if it gets a Red Lantern ring, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're so fucked.
Oh, if that thing got a Red Lantern ring, I'm first to die for sure. Because
Right.
I was always like, get the fuck away from me. I know you're going to scratch my life apart.
Right, yeah. So now because of that particular cat, you don't like any cats? It's like actually sour cats for
I'm
you?
very skittish about cats just because they have those like retractable claws.
What about the doctor's cat?
And when they walk, I've never really had an interaction with that cat. That cat kind of stays away from me, which is nice.
Because that cat's super cute.
It's a good cat.
When they walk across your legs or wherever they walk across you, I'm always worried like they're gonna dig right in and then.
They only do that on your back when they want to like paw in. So cute.
No, not into that.
So cute.
Not into that at all. And that's why I have a dog, right?
I miss my cat now.
Dogs are pretty mellow,
Fair enough.
unless they have kryptonite collars.
Yeah, unless it's... Dogs are mellow, especially if it's just a giant
Unless
radioactive rock covered in like a dog's skin.
Unless it's
like Richard suggested with
Batman's
crypto.
dog.
Yeah, I don't
Ace.
understand. That's how you do it.
I'm serious though, guys. We should try to make like a 3-minute short about that, where there's that
About
transition
skinning a
Bat-
dog and
No, the Batman transition where Bruce Wayne's walking
that,
his
yeah.
dog through the park, and then I think that'd be so.
Okay, when
good.
you said the transition, I wasn't sure.
yeah, it's just edit point.
Yeah. But at any rate, Dexstar is a little kitty cat consumed with rage and is now a key member of the Red Lantern Corps.
I wonder if that was someone's actual cat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these guys draw influence from a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, like, one of these writers is just like, oh, I adopted this tiny little kitty, and it is just, me. I wonder what happened to this poor
Is
guy.
it Jeff Johns who created Dexstar? Because Dexstar showed up in like 2008 or 9.
Jeff Johns, are you afraid of cats like I am?
That's a direct question. We'll wait.
Hit me up. I kind of want to know now. Like, do you own a cat? Have you owned a cat?
Do you have an issue with
Are you
cats?
terrified of cats?
Or do you really
Did
love
Jeff Johns
cats?
create it? Dexstar first shows up in, I think it's like Rage of the Red Lanterns. I think that's Jeff Johns. So maybe.
I really want to know. Whoever wrote that kind of Dexter thing, the cat one, I want to know if that person is like terrified of cats or if they have like a good experience with cats. Or
I feel like that person would have had a good experience with cats because that origin story,
a terrible experience.
that origin story is very like sympathetic to Dexstar. Like it would be very easy to be
It
like,
was Jeff Johns and Shane Davis.
right. So it would be very easy to be like, this is a cat that just kills people because I hate cats. But they give it such a sympathetic like backstory. I feel like they must like cats and they thought this was like an interesting.
There's two of them, so there's a possibility that one of them like loves cats and the other one is like me, terrified of cats.
All right, Jeff Johns, as I really know you as the Martian Manhunter.
John Johns.
Yeah. I
Thought you
can't
throw us
hide.
off and
Busted.
change your name to Jeff.
Busted big guy.
We'll be waiting to find out if you like cats.
And
because we know you love pussy.
What? Why?
Out of nowhere.
Why would we have to
Out
go
of
there
nowhere.
with that?
I knew we shouldn't have ended with a cat question.
I think that's it.
I think it is, yeah.
If you have any questions for us or comments or concerns, pussy concerns.
Probably those.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. Because we've been actually getting a lot of really great emails as
we
well.
have, yeah.
Some really, really great ones that we have. I think we may address some of them on future episodes.
We have a bit of like a back catalog of some questions that are like awesome. They just haven't like fit.
We might have to do like a mixed bag episode.
Yeah,
or something.
we'll definitely have a bit of a
Just
grab
crack
bag
open
episode.
that canvas bag of fan mail.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, we're going to be doing something possibly interesting during the month of October. So,
Yep. Possibly interesting. that's our motto.
I really set the bar low. That's what I'm going
We're like
for.
the rock and roll band that's like, tune in next week. We have an announcement on our Facebook fan page about something that might happen next year. Or
Guess
possibly
what?
the year
Guess
after.
what? It's probably a music video
We'd like to tentatively announce
That or
that
some
something
merch.
for a 1-week tour from Toronto to Niagara Falls.
Guess what, guys? We still have 10 T-shirts left. No,
This just in.
no, but
Save us, we're starving.
We got a Bandcamp page.
we really have gotten lots of great like mail and
Just
questions.
asking for advice.
And yeah, some people just like asking for like reading advice and things like that. So there are some things that we'll address in a bit of like a mixed bag episode because they haven't necessarily
good.
fit like our episode
We
themes.
should do an advice column episode. Send us your like day-to-day life questions and we'll just answer
Yeah, and you
those
can do that through our website.
with comic book information.
That's right. Well, I'll answer it as if you were in a comic book.
on our website.
I think that's
DrDCPodcast.com or
Email.
.ca. DrDCPodcast@gmail.com.
Facebook.
Dr. DC Podcast.
Instagram.
Which one?
It's all Dr. DC Podcast.
Twitter @Dr. DC. Instagram Dr. DC Podcast.
And make sure to go to iTunes and review us. I know that some people have been having issues with reviewing. It does actually take iTunes Apple reviews every single one. I don't know why some of you guys aren't getting yours online. We do hear you, and we will be putting some of the reviews who have sent them DMs to us. We will be putting those on future episodes. But just keep trying. They should show up after in a few days because we do have a few that are up there, so people are getting some reviews through.
Please start writing what Colin does because I'm so sick and tired of reading what Richard says that I do, which is
We have a new one. The next episode we'll have a good one.
Actually, this one was pretty spot on. Actually, I do.
It was.
Yeah, it was. I was going for and the live one was pretty good.
Doo-doo.
And but yeah, so 5-star review and what Colin does, and we'll read it on the episode.
All right.
Well, some kind of sign off.
Adios.
Later, dorks.
Edit point.
Aquaman, all the superheroes. They always fight for what is right. Live with danger and adventure.